Alrighty, so on my list of things to do today, sorry about the wobbles, is this Jamaican sorrel plant. And this is actually 3 plants, and I'm getting ready to pick here. It has some Seminole pumpkins growing around it. I might pick that yellow one in the forefront there too, and we're going to see what we get out of this. Alright, so there is a duck sitting on a nest up underneath there. She's going to flush out. She's going to flush out of there when I step up, so don't be surprised. So again, this is Jamaican Sorrel. It's a Hibiscus, Florida Cranberry. It has a bunch of other names. I can never remember all of them. But this is a great plant. I started growing it about 5 or 6 years ago. A friend gave it to me, and this is what we got going. So, yeah, got my braids hanging over. Basically, it blooms. Looks a lot like okra when it blooms. It's really pretty pink flowers. I don't have any on here right now. But then it goes, drops the flower, and it goes to seed, and it makes these pretty little calyxes like this, and about walnut size. You want to start picking them. So this is my mission today. I'm going to pick these, and we'll go on from there. I don't know if I said, this is actually 3 plants here from 3 seeds. I've already harvested once here, and basically I just got some of them pop right off, and some of them I got to use scissors for, but pretty easy. This part is anyway. I've made cranberry sauce at Thanksgiving with them. I've made tea with them, used them for jelly. In Jamaica they grow them and they make a Christmas drink, and I don't know the name of it, but I know I think they put rum in it. Maybe this year we'll find a recipe and give that a try too. So I'm just going to pick these for a while, and then we'll see what I got, and we'll get back to it, and I'll show you what I do with them next. Alright, last couple going in the bucket, and I missed. That duck never did come out. She's still down there. I don't know how many eggs she's got. Really don't need any more ducks, but you know, it is what it is. They never hatch very successfully out here. They get rained on, and so that's not bad. I got about this many last week too. There's still a lot left on there, and it'll bloom again now that I picked. So these were planted, the seeds started at the beginning of June. I think they went in the ground towards the end of June. It is 3 plants here, 3 individual plants from 3 seeds, and I'll keep harvesting until I can't anymore. The first year I did them, I knew they were related to okra, so I planted them the same time as the okra at the beginning of the summer. They still did not fruit until this time of year. This is their time of year to fruit. It doesn't really matter when you plant them. So, all right, we're going to go up to the house, and I'll show you what else I do with them. Alright, so here we are, you know, the beginning of October. And it's just now starting to get a little bit cooler here. We're still running close in the upper 70s, low 80s. And I decided, you know, since it was so nice out, I was going to work outside today. So this is what these calyxes look like. You pick them, and that's what they look like. So I'll just peel the first one. This is how I did it last week because I didn't have my fancy peeler that I'm going to show you in just a minute. So this is the part that you want. This is the part that you eat. Any of that red around the outside. This is a little seed pod. And this is similar to the ones like when you get okra. They're like this long, but they're a lot the same. I'm not sure if I can cut this one open with my scissors or not. Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's a seed pod. This is immature. These won't grow. Not sure what I'm going to do with them. They might just go in the compost pile. I tried feeding them to the chickens, and they really weren't interested. I'd be happy if they'd eat them. I'll throw a couple out. Turkey says, "What is that?" I don't know if it'll eat them or not. So, in the past, I've just used a fat half of a pen to pop these out. But things being equal, my hands aren't what they used to be, and the little piece of pen was just not enough. So my husband rigged this with a socket. I think it's 2 sockets, and then you wrap the handle so it was bigger for me to hang on to. He gave a couple cuts in it to make it a little bit sharper. So basically what I do is I just go in like this, and that thing pops right out. This is garbage, this is keep. So, much easier than peeling them, much quicker. And I don't waste as much. When I was just peeling them, I had a lot of this bottom portion that was actually stuck on the bottom of the seed. And, you know, I don't want to waste anything. You know, it doesn't really cost me anything to grow. It's in a part of the yard where nothing else was. I put that and the pumpkin out there just as an experiment to see how they do. I've done these before in other parts of the yard and had good success with them, so I was pretty sure they'd do well. The pumpkin, I've got 3 pumpkins out there. The chickens went after them. We had a couple big rains and they split. They healed up and they're still growing and they look pretty good, so I'll keep going with that. So I'm going to get all these opened up and I'll be back to show you what's next. Probably should have put on some gloves, so I'm going to be all red. That's okay. I'm looking forward to having some hibiscus tea throughout the winter. Bigger ones are easier to pop open. Got some stuck up in there. Okay, so just finishing up with these, and I'm gonna rinse them a couple times. I know there's at least one spider in there. I saw it, but I couldn't get it. I'm sure when we buy commercially produced things, we get all kinds of bugs. Like I said, I'm gonna rinse them a couple times though, and it'll all be good. We'll get them out of there. Alright, last one. Looks pretty good. I'd say there's probably several batches of tea in there. I'm going to take them and rinse them and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. I don't have a crazy expensive, super duper dehydrator. I have a little Oster dehydrator from Walmart, and you know, that works just fine for us. I do have this little piece that has the smaller holes in it. When I put the the sorrel in it last time, the hibiscus. The small pieces, especially after they dried, started falling through here. I don't have a lot of small pieces right now because I did it differently, but I still have some. And I don't want, you know, it was a pain in the neck trying to get them all out of the bottom of the dehydrator. So I just took and I put these in the colander. I rinsed them very thoroughly with the garden hose. Rinsed them and I zhuzhed them and I rinsed them. And I'm just going to spread them out in the dehydrator here. Just one layer. I want the air to go through. They're still pretty wet, so they might take a little bit longer to dry, but I'll put them in, I'll take them in, and I'll plug it in and turn it on, and by morning they'll be finished. Kind of leaves a little air, but it'll work. Oops. And really, I know some people, if you don't have a dehydrator, you could do them in the oven at, I don't know, probably 110 maybe. That would probably work just fine. I like the set it and forget it kind of way to do things, and I'll just do it that way. The roosters are very excited. I don't know, I'm not quite sure why. I did throw a couple of those little seed pods out, and some of the hens grabbed them and ran off with them, and some of the roosters took them, and I don't know. It's like a total rooster fest out here all the time, so sometimes they're quiet, sometimes they're not. All right, so that's what I've got. I've got 3 racks of them here, and I'm just going to cover that up. I'll take the extra rack. I won't put the extra rack in, and I'm going to take those in and put them in the dehydrator, and that's basically how I harvest the sorrel. I mean, you could do other things with it. You could freeze it. When I made the cranberry sauce, I used them fresh. For jelly, I would use them fresh. But this is going to get me some wonderful hibiscus tea. This is the same thing they use for the hibiscus tea if you go to the Mexican restaurants and you've got that bright red tea. If you've ever had the lemon zinger, I think it's by Celestial Seasonings from the grocery store, this is what gives it the zing. This is what gives it that sweet raspberry flavor. When I make the tea, I usually add a little bit of sugar to it. You could drink it straight, but it's a little bit tart, so I do add a little bit of sugar. You could add whatever sweetener you wanted, stevia, sugar, whatever. That's it for me today. I am Claudia from the WeeGardenHomestead, and some days we know what we're doing and some days we don't. We're willing to share whatever we know. Now grow something.